We looked at Queen Boudica a while back, and today we ask whether Genghis Khan was a cruel warmonger or was he a legendary leader of his people. For those who may need a brush up on who the man was, he was born Temujin sometime around 1162 AD. Birth records were not kept at the time. They certainly weren't then what they are today. So the best we have is just a really good educated guess, give or take a few years. He was the first Khan of the Mongol Empire, and the Mongol Empire was the largest contiguous empire in history. It included most of East and Central Asia. And he had a rough start in life. His dad was a chieftain. When the dad died, he was just 8, and the whole tribe abandoned his family. It was just him, his mom, and his siblings left to survive out on the steppes. But, as leading families too often did in the day, he killed his half brother. Just to be sure he secured his position as the future leader of his near starved little group. Then his wife was kidnapped, and his small group allied with 2 other groups, and they went to get her back. He began to get a reputation for determination, strength, fierce fighting. One of his allies didn't like the power, though, that he was gaining, and so a little war broke out. He was defeated, Genghis Khan was, but he came back only for war to break out again. He trounced the other warlord, just adding to his reputation, his power, and his influence. And after this second conflict, Temujin sort of rules the entire steppe and changes his name. He's now Genghis Khan. This is around the time he starts demonstrating his skills as a unifier and as an administrator. He changes the rules to stabilize life for people living on the steppe. I mean, it's still a hard life, but it's more stable. He changes the tribal structure to a meritocracy. Of course, all of the tribes are expected to dedicate their lives to the ruling family still. He thwarts a coup attempt because when everyone is supposed to follow the leader, everyone wants to be the leader. Then he raids his neighbor, Western Xia, then Jin, then Karakatal, all of which become part of the Mongol Empire. Khwarezmian, Georgia, and Kleven Rus would follow before Genghis died, subduing rebellion in Western Xia. It was quite the achievement, really, uniting the tribes on the steppes, becoming the most powerful and largest empire the world had seen up to that point. He proved himself a solid administrator for the times, improving the lives of many within the empire. It was those outside the empire, those he wished to conquer, that had to worry most. Let's look at Western Xia as an example. Genghis was very ill while trying to quell a rebellion there. Very ill. He was dying. His sons asked him to actually retreat to Mongolia to recover, but he just refused. And he died that August. His death was kept a secret until the rebels fell. When it did fall, the Mongols put the Xia people in the capital of Zhongxing to the sword, an ethnocide that ended them. How was that Genghis's fault? He was dead, after all. Yeah, he died, but his policies were still very much the policies of the Mongols. And how do we get to a genocide or an ethnocide? Well, the Xia had grown frustrated with Mongol control, and they either refused to fight or stopped fighting for the empire. It depends on the source you read. Genghis tried diplomacy, but when the Xia continued to disobey, he set about correcting them. He began by taking towns and villages near the border. He ordered them completely sacked, one at a time. Everything and everyone was to be destroyed, with the exception of just a few people he would grant clemency to. They plundered and they killed almost everyone, defenseless elders, women, and children included. It was Genghis's way of letting people know who exactly was boss. Earlier in Persia, millions died to his horde because I'm going to screw this name up, Khwarezmid leaders killed his envoys rather than submit to a trade agreement and Mongol rule. Millions. By educated estimates, up to 40 million died under the orders of Genghis Khan. That was 11% of the population of the entire planet at the time. Some regions had 75% of the lives there taken, and the Zen, well, they were reduced to effectively zero. Not a single other conflict, plague, or warmonger would ever match the toll that Genghis took on the population. Not a single one. Thank you for listening. If you're enjoying these videos and want more, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any videos. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it.